Imagine finding a simple brown penny in your drawer that could secretly be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Yes, that tiny Lincoln Wheat penny sitting in your old jar might not be just 1 cent. It could be a hidden jackpot waiting to explode your wallet. Some of these old pennies have shocked collectors with mind-blowing auction prices that no one expected. Today, we're diving into the mysterious world of rare Lincoln Wheat pennies, coins that turned ordinary people into lucky winners overnight. So get ready, because the truth will blow your mind. Let's start with a coin that looks ordinary but hides shocking secrets: the 1935 Lincoln Wheat Penny. At first glance, it's just a small copper coin with Abraham Lincoln's proud face staring straight ahead. But wait till you hear the truth about its worth. This coin, minted nearly 9 decades ago, can sometimes sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Yes, a 1 cent coin that could literally make your heart skip a beat when you find out what collectors are paying for it. The story begins during the Great Depression era. 1935 was a year when every single cent mattered. People struggled to feed their families, and yet these little Lincoln pennies were rolling through millions of hands every day. Who would have thought that decades later, one of those same coins could become a collector's dream? The 1935 wheat penny carries a silent power, a nostalgic link to America's hardest times, and a shiny ticket to unexpected fortune. Now here's where things get really shocking. A 1935 Lincoln Wheat penny in mint condition, meaning no scratches, no wear, pure red luster, has been auctioned for over $1,500. That's right, Sakib, $1,500 for something that originally cost just a single cent. Even moderately circulated coins with a clean look can fetch between $50 to $200, depending on grade and shine. And if you're holding a rare, red variety, which refers to its bright original color, you might just be holding a mini gold mine. But what makes this coin so special? Let's dig deeper. The 1935 penny was struck at 3 different U.S. mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver D, and San Francisco S. Each has its own story, but one thing's common: collectors go wild for them. The Philadelphia version, which has no mint mark, is the most common, yet even that can hit high prices if it's preserved in stunning condition. A brilliant, uncirculated red specimen graded MS 67 once shocked the market when it sold for $2,880 at auction. That's enough to buy a premium smartphone, all from a single coin you could find in an old jar. The 1935 D penny from the Denver Mint tells another story. It had a smaller mintage compared to Philadelphia, and that little D below the date makes collectors pay attention. A perfectly struck Denver piece with its glowing red surface has crossed $1,000 in several auctions. Even lower-grade versions can earn you $20 to $100, depending on the sharpness of Lincoln's features and the wheat ears on the back. It's that fine detail that drives coin lovers crazy. They hunt for crisp lines and bold textures that survive time itself. Now let's talk about the rarest and most talked about, the 1935 S Wheat Penny. Coins from the San Francisco Mint often grab attention due to their limited runs, and this one is no exception. If you spot a tiny S mark under the date, don't ignore it. The 1935 S can be a surprise jackpot. One high-grade MS 67 red example shocked the numismatic world by selling for $4,465. Imagine trading a rusty-looking old cent for that amount. Sounds unreal, right? But that's the power of rarity and perfection combined. And here's a twist. Collectors also obsess over errors from this year. Double die obverse or reverse errors, off-center strikes, and weak mint marks can send the value skyrocketing. Some error 1935 pennies have been auctioned for $500 to $800 purely because of a visible mistake. One slightly double date example even fetched $1,200, proving that imperfections can sometimes pay off big time. But what really gives these coins their emotional value is the history they carry. Each 1935 penny tells a silent story of American struggle, recovery, and resilience. Imagine holding a coin that passed through the pockets of someone during the Great Depression. Maybe a worker who spent his last penny on bread, or a mother who saved coins in a jar to feed her kids. It's not just copper. It's a piece of history frozen in time, and that emotional depth makes collectors fall in love with it even more. Let's talk about how to recognize whether your coin is special. If you find one that looks shiny red, free from scratches, with sharp lettering and clear details on Lincoln's hair and the wheat stalks, you might be sitting on treasure. Also, flip it over. The words 1 cent and United States of America should look bold and crisp. Coins with strong strike details are the ones that catch bidders' eyes. In Sakib, here's something shocking. Many people have found valuable 1935 wheat pennies completely by accident. A man in Kansas once discovered a red gem in an old family box and sold it for $1,750. Another collector found one at a garage sale mixed in with junk coins and flipped it for $900 within a week. That's the kind of surprise the 1935 penny can deliver, turning pocket change into pure excitement. Even if your 1935 penny is worn or discolored, don't underestimate it. Some collectors love toned or aged pennies for their character. You could still get a few dollars for even an average circulated coin. Not bad for something you thought was worthless. And if you have multiple coins, you might consider sending them for grading. A certified grade by PCGS or NGC can double or even triple the market value. One more shocking fact. In recent years, online auctions have made these coins more popular than ever. Search results on eBay, heritage auctions, or great collections often show 1935 penny selling for $200 to $500 daily. The demand is steady, the interest is strong, and the prices keep climbing. Collectors are constantly chasing those high-grade, red-tone beauties because they know how scarce truly perfect specimens are. So next time you find an old penny, don't ignore it. Check the date, check the color, and look for that little mint mark. It could change your day. The 1935 Lincoln Wheat Penny isn't just a coin. It's a hidden opportunity, a time traveler from the past whispering, "I might be worth more than you think." And that's why this humble 1 cent piece remains one of the most shocking and fascinating coins in U.S. history. From being a symbol of survival in hard times to becoming a valuable collectible that can reach over $4,000, the 1935 wheat penny proves that sometimes the smallest things hold the biggest surprises. Now let's move to another legendary piece that looks tiny but can shake your heartbeat. The 1953 Lincoln Wheat Penny. Don't let its small copper size fool you. This coin has shocked collectors around the world with its unexpected value. Imagine holding a 1 cent coin from the 1950s that could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars today. Sounds unreal? Wait till you hear the jaw-dropping truth behind the 1953 wheat penny. The year 1953 was part of post-war America, a time when coins were changing hands faster than ever. Millions were minted, yet only a few survived in perfect, untouched condition. That's the magic that turns an ordinary cent into a collector's treasure. The 1953 Lincoln Wheat Penny carries not only the proud face of Abraham Lincoln on the front, but also the classic wheat ears design on the reverse, a design that's long gone but never forgotten. Now, let's talk numbers, the part that truly shocks everyone. A 1953 wheat penny in uncirculated red condition can easily sell for $200 to $500, depending on its mint mark and grade. But here's where the real shock comes. The highest auction record for a flawless 1953 D. Lincoln Wheat Penny reached $7,475. Yes, a single 1 cent coin that once jingled in someone's pocket decades ago turned into nearly $8,000. That's the kind of surprise that makes collectors chase these copper beauties day and night. This coin was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D; and San Francisco, S. Each mint produced millions of coins, but not all were created equal. Starting with the 1953 Philadelphia Wheat Penny, it's the most common version, but high-quality red ones, which still have their original bright copper color, can explode in value. A brilliant red 1953 penny graded MS. 67 once sold for a mind-blowing $2,760 at auction. Even coins in slightly lower grades like MS 65 or MS 66 can earn you $150 to $300. The 1953 D Wheat Penny from the Denver Mint, however, is the real stunner. It's more plentiful in lower grades, but extremely rare in perfect, uncirculated condition. Collectors love that bold D mint mark, and the hunt for a flawless Denver strike has created wild bidding wars. A blazing red example graded MS 67RD once sold for $7,475, shocking everyone who thought common pennies had no value. Even average bright ones can reach $50 to $200, depending on their appearance. Then comes the 1953 S Wheat Penny, the one minted in San Francisco. Known for its limited production and slightly softer strikes, it carries that elegant S under the date. While it may seem common, finding a pristine one is tough. A red 1953 S in top condition has sold for over $2,000, while well-preserved examples often trade between $100 and $400. Now let's talk about something collectors adore: errors and varieties. These are the coins with minting mistakes that turn out to be golden opportunities. Double die obverse, where the date or letters look slightly doubled. Off-center strikes and repunched mint marks are all part of the 1953 penny's wild world. Some of these error coins have sold for $500 to $1,000, purely because of a visible flaw that made them unique. A well-known example is the 1953 D repunched mint mark variety. One of these was auctioned for over $900, just because of a tiny D over D detail visible under magnification. But let's not forget the emotional value behind this coin. 1953 was the year when families were recovering from war and building dreams. People saved pennies, not knowing they were saving future treasures. Imagine a grandfather handing you a jar of old coins, and one of them being this: a 1953 wheat penny glowing with history and worth hundreds of dollars. That's not just money, that's magic. When examining your 1953 penny, always look for these clues. A deep red color means the coin hasn't oxidized much, and collectors love that. Sharp details on Lincoln's beard, collar, and the wheat ears mean it was well struck. And if the surface shines with that mirror-like luster, you've got something special. Let me give you a few real-life shocks. A woman in Ohio once found a 1953 D penny in her late father's coin album. It looked stunning, red, clean, and glossy. She sent it for grading, and guess what? It came back as MS 67RD, valued at nearly $6,000. Another collector bought a small coin roll for just $2 at a flea market and discovered a brilliant 1953 S penny that later sold for $1,800. Stories like these fuel the obsession for wheat pennies because luck can strike at any time. Even circulated 1953 pennies aren't worthless. If yours is brown or worn but still readable, you could sell it for a few dollars. Some collectors like creating complete date and mint sets, so they'll pay even for average condition coins. A simple worn penny from 1953 S can still bring $5 to $15, while a nicely toned one could go for $25 to $40. And Saqib, here's the wild part. More and more people are realizing how valuable old U.S. coins have become. Online auction prices are rising every year, especially for coins with full red color and minimal marks. The 1953 pennies prices have nearly doubled in the last decade because of collector demand. In other words, what's just a penny today could easily be worth hundreds tomorrow. So next time you come across an old jar of coins or check through a drawer of forgotten change, keep your eyes sharp. The 1953 wheat penny might be hiding among them, waiting for someone like you to uncover it. And who knows, maybe the coin that's been sitting quietly for 70 years could suddenly become your golden ticket. Every tiny scratch, every glint of shine tells a story of time, history, and value. This 1953 Lincoln Wheat Penny isn't just copper. It's living proof that small things can hold huge surprises. From 1 cent to thousands of dollars, it's the kind of coin that keeps collectors awake at night, searching for that next big find. Now get ready, because this next coin will completely blow your mind. The 1951 Lincoln Wheat Penny 1 cent coin. It might look like any other old brown penny, But what if I told you that one of these tiny coins has sold for thousands of dollars? That's right. A single cent that once bought a piece of candy could today pay for a brand new laptop or even a month's rent. The truth behind this 1951 wheat penny is both shocking and fascinating, proving again that every old coin tells a story of hidden treasure. The 1951 penny belongs to the famous Lincoln Wheat Cent series, which ran from 1909 to 1958. These coins carry the proud portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front and two wheat stalks on the back, a design symbolizing prosperity and hard work. But what makes the 1951 edition stand out isn't just its design. It's the unexpected value explosion that certain rare varieties have caused among collectors. Let's start with the facts. The 1951 penny was struck in 3 mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. Over 1 billion coins were made that year, yet only a handful survived in perfect red condition. And those few are worth a fortune today. A regular 1951 Philadelphia penny might seem common, but if it has that glossy red copper shine and minimal marks, it can easily sell for $100 to $300. However, a top-graded piece, one graded MS, 67RD, red, once sold for an astonishing $3,910 at auction. Imagine that. Sakib, one small coin from your pocket turning into nearly $4,000. That's not luck. That's the magic of condition and rarity combined. The 1951 D. Lincoln Wheat Penny from the Denver Mint is another treasure waiting to be discovered. Denver struck the largest number of pennies that year, over 625 million. But finding one in perfect mint red condition is like spotting a glowing ruby in the sand. A blazing red 1951 D. Penny graded MS, 67RD, has been known to sell for $2,000 to $3,000, while even slightly lower grades still fetch $100 to $500. And here's a shocking twist. An error variety, known as the repunched mint mark, D/D, exists for this coin. These special error pieces have auctioned for $700 to $1,200 simply because the D was stamped twice. Tiny details, huge profits. That's how collectors see it. Now, let's talk about the 1951 S. Lincoln Wheat Penny, a true fan favorite among vintage coin enthusiasts. San Francisco coins are often admired for their crisp details and lower mintage numbers. The 1951 S was minted in smaller quantities than the others, making it slightly rarer, and therefore more valuable. A stunning red, uncirculated 1951 S penny can easily hit $1,500, and in some cases, rare MS 67RD examples have even crossed $2,500. Even average bright coins can bring $50 to $200 depending on how flawless they appear. But here's where things get even more shocking: the error coins. Yes, errors make ordinary pennies extraordinary. Some 1951 wheat pennies show off center strikes, die cracks, or even double dies, and collectors go absolutely wild for them. One off-center 1951 penny recently sold for $900, and another with a doubled "In God We Trust" inscription fetched $1,250. That's how unpredictable and exciting this coin market can be. A simple minting mistake can multiply a coin's worth hundreds of times. The 1951 penny also has deep sentimental value. It was minted during a time when the world was healing after World War II, when every penny still counted in the pockets of hardworking Americans. People collected these coins not knowing they were saving history, copper witnesses to a new era of hope and rebuilding. Holding one today feels like touching a small piece of that post-war story. Now let's get practical. How do you know if your 1951 penny is valuable? First, check its color. If it still glows with a rich red tone, it's what collectors call a red or RD coin, and that means higher value. Red-brown, RB, or brown, BN, coins are still worth something, but not nearly as much. Next, check the surfaces. If there are no scratches, stains, or dark spots, you're in luck. Also, look closely under the date for that tiny mint mark. No letter means Philadelphia, D means Denver, and S means San Francisco. If your coin looks perfect, it might be time to send it for grading. Professional grading services like PeaceGS or NGC can give your coin an official grade that often doubles or triples its market value. A coin graded MS 67RD could easily turn a few dollar find into a $1,000 jackpot. Here's something that'll really shock you. A lucky collector once found a 1951 S penny while sorting through a jar of old coins from his grandfather's collection. He almost ignored it until he noticed the bright red color and sharp details. After grading, it came back as MS 67RD and was valued at $2,700. Another story involves a teenager who started coin collecting as a hobby and found a 1951 D in a coin roll from the bank. It graded MS 66RD and sold for $1,100 online. These real-life stories prove that the next big discovery could be sitting right in your drawer or piggy bank. Even circulated 1951 wheat pennies aren't worthless. A warm brown example might only fetch 10 to 50 cents, but multiply that by rolls or jars full of them, and it adds up fast. And who knows? One of those could hide a rare gem worth hundreds. Collectors often buy bulk lots just to find that one shining coin that stands above the rest. And Sakib, here's the real shocker. These 1951 pennies are rising in value every single year. As time passes, fewer of them remain in top condition, and collectors are willing to pay crazy prices for the ones that do. The 1951 series is now considered one of the underrated years with great investment potential. A coin you buy today for $100 could be worth $400 in the near future if kept safe and clean. So if you got a box of old coins, grab a magnifying glass and start hunting. The 1951 Lincoln Wheat Penny might look small, but it carries giant surprises. Whether it's a fiery red Denver Beauty, a rare San Francisco Strike, or a perfectly preserved Philadelphia cent, each one could be your ticket to something truly valuable. Because here's the truth. Hidden treasures aren't just found in gold mines or treasure chests. Sometimes they're hiding right in your change jar, disguised as an ordinary 1-cent coin. And the 1951 Lincoln Wheat Penny proves it, turning simple copper into pure excitement, nostalgia, and shocking value. So next time you see that classic wheat reverse and Lincoln's calm face, look closer. You might not just be looking at a penny. You might be looking at hundreds or even thousands of dollars in your very own hand.